Welcome to today's Faith in Later Life event. I'm Alex Huggins and I lead this charity, Faith in Later Life, where it is our delight to support, equip, inspire, cheer you on in your life-giving ministry among older people. We've got a session today on helping us to get ready for Christmas in our seniors ministry. And only yesterday I was having a conversation with my husband. He was like, "What, Christmas already?" And of course, and for some people, they may watch this in 6 weeks' time before they begin to think about getting ready for Christmas, and that's absolutely fine. But of course, for some of you, it takes some proper planning and thinking and strategy. You may have to talk with your leadership teams about budgets and different things. You may need to raise huge volunteer groups in order to pull off some of the ideas that you might feel God is calling you to do this year. So it's great that you guys are giving it some thought, and we hope that today will be a really helpful and practical session for you. The session is going to be slightly different. Normally we have a lead speaker who speaks for 30 to 40 minutes, and then we have some questions and answers. Today we had invited our friend and church champion, Sally Bates from Frinton to come and share something about their vast seniors ministry at Christmas time. And that's not going to happen now. We'll share more about that in just a moment, or she will do so herself. But basically, we're going to have about the first half of the session will be some content from myself, from a couple of friends of ours who are here on the call as well. And then we're going to hand over to you guys to share any ideas that you might want to bring to this group today, or if you have any questions to ask as well. But I'm going to be sharing some content that I haven't written, and this is all a bit last minute, so we've been praying that we would very much have a family feel here this afternoon as we make it happen anyway. Let's have a look at Sally's short little video to explain a bit more.
Hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Even though I'm not able to be there with you in person, I just wanted to introduce myself and just apologise for not being able to join you. My husband's been waiting for surgery for the last 4 months, and we just got a cancellation the day before this webinar, so I'm really sorry that I can't be with you. My name's Sally Bates. I'm Associate Minister here at Frinton Free Church, which is a Baptist church on the northeast coast of Essex. I've been in ministry here for the last 6 years, and for all of that time I've been delighted to be working with Faith in Later Life and being connected with this amazing organisation. We've done various things over the last 6 years for Christmas, and so very kindly Alex has agreed to share my slides and my talk that I was going to be giving to you today just to kick off this discussion about getting ready for Christmas. So once again, apologies, and I hope you have a fantastic discussion and time together today.
There we go. That was very kind of Sally to, in the midst of all that preparation, to also make us a little mini video and dig out the fairy lights for us too. So yes, I'm going to be sharing some of the wonderful things that Frinton Free do there in Essex at Christmas time. So first of all, Sally wanted me to share that this is just such an opportunity to make Jesus known at Christmas time. I mean, we all see it ourselves, older people who may not be coming to our Sunday services, who may not be coming to our seniors groups during the year, may well be readily open to coming along to a carol concert or a special lunch or a mince pie and tea opportunity. And so it's great to be able to speak the gospel into those times as well. She said to us that firstly, it's an opportunity to mould the culture of our church, however big or small it might be. And every year at the start of Advent, Frinton set up a small table at the back of their church with a mini Christmas tree and lots of sign-up sheets. For several weeks, they present the opportunities that are available. It might be a visit to a care home to sing carols, or to help wash up on Christmas Day, or hand out invites to the carol services at Frinton and their late night shopping evening. So lots of great opportunities there to think now about those volunteer teams. And she's shared that everyone is encouraged to get involved in however small a way. Last year, apparently an 18-year-old who had just passed his driving test offered to be a taxi driver on Christmas Day, bringing an older person to church for their Christmas dinner. A couple of years ago, they knitted over 400 Christmas angels to distribute to their local care home residents. One person knitted over 30, another person knitted just one. But every single one counts, and every single one really matters. Last year, they also ran a Sponsor a Scarf project where they bought good quality scarves from local charity shops to present as gifts to care home residents. Some people joined them to sing carols before they gave them out, and others joined in simply by sponsoring a scarf for £5 each. They ran an outreach seniors group on a Wednesday morning where most guests aren't yet invited, where most guests don't yet know Jesus. And yet every year for the last few years throughout Advent, each of the 10 tables of guests have collected donations for the local food bank, instilling this culture of giving within that ministry. It's great. Giving is one of those things that you don't have to be a Christian to be generous and want to do good. And this is a lovely opportunity to infuse that into the culture. It's also an opportunity to strengthen community. None of the Christmas projects that they've undertaken in recent years could be done by just one person or even a few people. The scale at which they've been working, it takes everyone to make them happen. Their Christmas dinner is a prime example of this. And when I was chatting with Sally, she was telling me that the local cook shop and the local co-op provide food for the dinner. The hardware shop across the road from them has provided gift bags in the past, and a local care agency gave them gifts to put inside the goodie bags for guests to take home at the end of the afternoon. Often you've only got to ask people in the community and they're very willing to be generous. But of course, we need to think ahead. We need to go and chat with them soon. Not only that, but sometimes people from the community who aren't yet part of the church offer to come and even be part of the team. They've seen what the church does and they want to be involved. Of course, at Faith in Later Life, we say do invoke all of your safeguarding policies and all of that. But what a great way to bring people into the fold of God's family. A guest from their Wellbeing Cafe did this, and several who visit their cafe during the week. And last year, a family visiting Frinton was walking past the church during the meal on Christmas Day, saw what they were doing, and gave them £100 on the spot. I mean, what a wonderful way to bless others at Christmas, even for those who don't yet believe. Another way Frinton were able to engage the whole community was with their Knitted Angel project. As the knitting pattern was shared, the word got around and soon the WI was on board, as well as people's next door neighbours, relatives and friends, all busy knitting away and contributing to what became a community-wide initiative. We will be sharing the knitting pattern again tomorrow in our follow-up email. But this is also an opportunity for the wider community to come together. During lockdown in 2021, 11 local churches came together to put together a hamper for the staff of each residential care home to enjoy. It's so important to consider the staff as well. The contributions for the hampers came from right across the community, and then each church took 2 hampers and delivered them to different care homes. And in this way, 22 care homes were blessed. What an inspiration. Those hampers look fantastic. A similar thing happened in 2023 with the Knitted Angels. 6 churches worked together to visit 13 different care homes with the gift of carol singing and angels. You know, these things are too hard to do for just one church or one small team, but when you collaborate in that way, you can extend the blessing. Christmas isn't just an opportunity for the church to share Jesus. It's also a perfect time to strengthen community relationships and draw others into the celebration of his birth. Thirdly, of course, Christmas is all about Christ, and he is the reason we do what we do. In Colossians, Paul writes this: "This mystery has been kept hidden for ages and generations, but is now disclosed to the Lord's people. To them, God has chosen to make known the glorious riches of this mystery, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. He is the one we proclaim." When they visit the care homes, they take a group of people to sing carols with plenty of large print song sheets for residents and staff to join in. At an appropriate moment, they pause and share a short gospel message, either related to the words of one of the carols or a testimony from someone's experience of Jesus. They also try to leave them with something. In 2023, they took an individually knitted angel to every resident with a label attached with a Bible verse and a message of love from the local churches. How charming is that? And last year, the church gave a warm woolly scarf to care home residents. They took time with each individual, allowing them to choose a scarf that they liked, wrapping it around their shoulders and praying a prayer of blessing over them, which they then left with them on a card to read again later. And the blessing was like this. It said, "As you wrap this scarf around you, God wraps you in his love today, this Christmas and every day. The Lord bless you and keep you, smile on you, and give you his peace." These are some simple ways of reminding people that with Jesus at the centre, Christmas is a time of hope and the possibility of new life, a message which perhaps especially those in later life really need to hear. When getting ready for Christmas, Sally has found it really helpful as she thinks strategically about it to bear in mind this threefold focus of culture, community, and Christ. And she says that she hopes you found it useful to hear something of her experience. And as she's not here in person to answer any questions, she's said that you're welcome to contact her with any questions that you may have following this session today. And this is her email. I think it's on another slide. And we will share that email address again in the follow-up email tomorrow as well. So I hope you've found that an interesting introduction to some of the things that could be done. Of course, not every church is equipped to do all of those things. In fact, very few are. But we hope that there would be something there that where you think, oh, we could have a go at that, or that's pinged off something else in my brain that's made me think, well, we could do, it's not like that, but it's different and it would work for our context. So I hope that hearing a little bit about the festive ministry of Frinton Free has been helpful to hear. And we're very grateful for Sally sharing her notes with me in that way to read out. I want to invite a couple of other people now just to share, just for a few minutes, something that they've prepared or that they've given some thought to share in this session. And don't forget, if you've got any questions or if you've got any ideas you want to throw in the pot today, then do pop those in the chat. But I'd love to welcome Rachel Beadle. Are you with us somewhere? Ah, there you are. Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming in last minute to share a little bit about your experience. Now, I imagine there might be some duplicates of what we've shared about Sally's work, but that also you do things differently too. Rachel, tell us a bit more about where in the country you are, what's the kind of shape of your ministry, and what are some of the Christmas things that you are making plans for or that you've done in the past?
Right, I will do. So, good afternoon, isn't it? Good afternoon, everybody. So, as Alex said, my name's Rachel. I'm the seniors worker at Moortown Baptist Church, which is in North Leeds. And part of that is that I lead the main activities for older people and also have sort of oversight of the pastoral care for our seniors. So we have, I thought I'd sort of tell you a bit about what I do and then go into kind of our Christmas stuff, if that's okay.
Perfect.
So we have a number of weekly activities for seniors at our church. So we have what we call Beacon Community Cafe. We have a lunch club and we have a craft group. And two of those are welcome spaces, which I think is all around the country, but specifically in Leeds, we have warm welcome spaces. So they're open to everybody in our community. And then our lunch club is the same 24 people that come each week for lunch together. And then also we have a monthly afternoon worship service that we call Wednesday Worship, which is it's for seniors. It's more traditional songs because our Sunday morning worship tends to have more modern songs. So we go traditional on a Wednesday and people seem to really enjoy it. So that's what we normally do. And as a church, we focus very much on shining the light of Jesus into everything we do. And this becomes even more obvious at Christmas. So we encourage all our volunteers to what we call sparkle and shine throughout December. So we sort of encourage people to wear their Christmas jumpers, to wear sparkly things. And I've brought one to show you actually. This is my newest one. So this helps me to my Christmas jumper with the nativity, which then starts conversations because people go, oh, I've not seen one like that before. So that sort of helps to bring good conversations and opportunities to share my faith. So at Christmas, each of our groups have their own Christmas celebrations, and then everyone's also invited to our Advent and Christmas services. And to help people know what's happening, I've just brought one of these as well. This is last year's. I'll put it the right way up. This is our postcard. So we produce this with our theme. And then on the back, it has all our services and events so that people can connect in. And we have a lot of those. So we hand them out to all our people who come to church, but encourage them to take them and deliver them to neighbours, take them to friends. And we found it's really helpful to tell people when our services are and just keep people connected. So I'm just going to highlight a few of our activities. I could go on a while, but I won't. And just how we reach as many people as we can with the amazing news of Jesus.
That's brilliant.
Right?
Yeah, please do. But before that, I know there'll be somebody else like me on this call thinking, where did you get that jumper from?
I ordered it actually online.
Right,
So if you go online and just search for Nativity Christmas jumpers, I've got two different ones. And then because they're not very sparkly, so I add sparkle and
right, sparkle and shine. Yeah,
sparkle and shine. That's our thing.
Yeah, Rachel, go ahead, tell us more, and don't be too concerned about the time.
So my main role is leading our weekly lunch club, and throughout the year we do all kinds of different activities, have speakers. Yesterday we were playing garden party games, all sorts of things, as well as sharing food together. And at Christmas we're really aware that some of our members don't have families and may not celebrate on Christmas Day. So we like to make sure that our Christmas lunch club is a really special day. Lots of love, lots of joy. And it is, for some people, their actual Christmas. So that's what we want it to be. So we start the week before, we make cards. So everybody makes one card, then they're all collected in, and then they're given out again to different people. So everybody gets a card to take home that someone else has made for them. Which is great because it means nobody's got the pressure of writing 30 cards. They can if they want to, but everybody will get a card. And we also prepare the table decorations. So each year we've had a different theme. So the first year we took glass jars, decorated them, painted them, and then put tea lights in them, electric ones, so we didn't set anyone on fire. One year we did sparkly pipe cleaner Christmas trees. This year we're going for the centerpieces with berries and cones and Christmassy leaves and all that kind of thing. So watch this space. No idea what they're going to look like. But it's lovely because we then collect them in, we put them out on the table the week after, and people feel like they've been part of the preparations for
That's
this.
such a good idea to be
Yeah,
in the run up to Christmas, making the stuff together in your
yeah,
seniors groups and then using it
yeah.
for your special lunch.
Yeah, so
Really good.
that's really nice. They really feel like they're part of it. We also invite all the volunteers who help with lunch clubs. So that's our drivers who normally just drop off and go. Um, both our kitchen teams come, and all the befrienders and all the group members. So it's a very busy one at Christmas, and logistically it gets more complicated because we like the kitchen team to eat with us, so they're cooking and then coming to eat and then dashing back to do dessert. But it's really lovely because it's a special time for everybody to be together, and it's just
Mm,
really, really, really important, I think, that the volunteers know how valued they are,
mm,
and that the members see all of our volunteers as well.
mm. Yeah,
So we do
great.
that. We sing carols, we have a Christmas message from our minister, and we do a Christmas quiz. And then after our lovely Christmas dinner, we give a gift to all the members and the volunteers. And we used to give things like biscuits and things like that, but recently we've changed and we now give out friendship books. I don't know if you've seen the friendship books. I don't have one here right now, but they have a daily little reflection for every day
Mhm.
of the year. And it means that the present lasts all year, that they can read it, they can chat to each other about it if they've read something interesting, and they've all got the same book. And it seems to have worked really, really well. And we also know that for some people it might be their only Christmas gift. So we want
Mm,
something that can last and not just be gone in the first week after Christmas. So we, it is a little bit more expensive, but we really feel it's a good investment to
mm,
to buy those for people. So that's our lunch club. And every year we also do a big community Christmas event as a church. So this is open to all ages. And for the last few years, we've had an afternoon of Christmas music with Steel Crazy, which is a steel pan band. And then I'm actually in the band, so it's really great. We come and we do this afternoon of Christmas music. We have Christmas carols, we do all the Christmas pop songs, we do like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, all of those, and we do community carol singing with the steel pans, and it's just been such a blessing for people. We open the doors and hundreds of people just come and go through the afternoon and just come, eat mince pies, sing along, have a chat, and then go home. And it's just a really special moment to share the love of God, the story of Jesus's birth. And it doesn't have to be a steel pan band. If you've got a ukulele band down the road, or you've got, a brass band, anything, or your church band, it's just getting people together. Music is really special, I think, for drawing
definitely.
people together. I just saw a question pop up then. The friendship books, mainly, it's not only available here, but WH Smith's are pretty good. Forget it. Oh, I don't know what that's called now, but it was WH Smith's, or you can order them online, the friendship books. Um, so that's that one. Let me see. And then also the last thing I just want to say is we've become more aware over the last few years that we've got a lot of people who, once our Christmas activities stop, won't see anyone until we start again in the new year.
Mm,
So we've been trying really hard to find a day between Christmas and New Year where we can just open the church, serve tea and coffee, and just be together. So we've
mm,
called it a bonus beacon cafe. We've called it a get together. We've just different years. It's on different days depending where Christmas falls, but just really opening up and not to do anything specific other than
mm.
just to be there
Yeah.
and chat. And it's only a couple of hours, but it's a really nice thing to do.
Mm.
So I hope that's given you a flavour of
Brilliant.
what we do.
Yes. A very
But
good flavour.
the main thing I just want to say is that it doesn't have to be complicated.
Mm,
It's the most important bit of any activity or event for older people is just being together.
mm,
And I think sharing the love of Jesus, giving opportunities for connection and conversation are the most
mm.
important things that we do.
Yeah.
So,
That's
thank
really
you.
helpful. Thank you ever so much, Rachel.
You're
I think
welcome.
we only had that one question come in for you on that about the friendship book. But yeah, if anybody has any as we go on, then do please pop them in later, and we can always come back to Rachel. then as well. I just want to, before we invite our friends Tim and Jean to come and share a little bit about the importance of prayer backup. Thank you so much, Rachel. And I just wanted to say something else about that point, that time of, a lot of churches finish their final Christmas things just really, sometimes 2 weeks before Christmas. And it can actually mean that the Christmas period for many older people is quite long, and with not much going on, because not everybody has family, not everybody is super busy, doing all the shopping and the doing. And so finding ways to connect with people right around those crucial few days, which can be a very sad time for people, especially in later life, is really important. So I love your idea, Rachel, about connecting between Christmas and New Year. We've heard other ministries where they have a phone buddy system that kicks into action on Christmas Day. So, not everybody can be leaving their family, and which is also a ministry, of course, on Christmas Day. And yet, it's to make a half an hour phone call to somebody, for everyone to be assigned an older person who they know would be alone on that day, to call them, is a lovely addition, on top of other things that would be going on. So lots of different ways. And of course, back in COVID, we had the whole doorstep visits and with a goodie bag. So that's also a great thing to be doing around that time, to try and nudge that time a little bit closer to around Christmas. So thank you, Rachel. I think our Rachel is now going to spotlight Tim and Jean for me. That would be great. Thank you. And when I was asking Tim and Jean about important things to think about for Christmas, they just had this very little line that said, about the importance of prayer. So Tim and Jean, welcome. It's lovely to have you here. Would you just remind us a little bit, a snapshot of your ministry and where you are, and tell us a bit more about the importance of prayer around these special Christmas events and occasions among older people?
We're, as you can say, in Aylesbury, but we attend a small village church outside Aylesbury. It's called Frinton Baptist Church. So when we listen to Rachel and Sally, our life is a lot simpler, because we don't have a big fellowship. We have a very busy fellowship, but not as I suppose as big as we've just heard. So ours is a quiet life, really, I suppose, working with seniors. And this morning we've just been to Lewin House Care Home, and we did songs of praise and brought out the musical instruments. And for the first time, we had an applause afterwards because they loved it so much. But I think the thing that we have to say is that we send out an email sometime before we go, which is generally Tuesday or Wednesday. This time it was Wednesday, to about 10 people. And we know at 11 o'clock on a Thursday morning, the second Thursday in each month, they are praying. And it was so evident this morning. So Christmas. We start praying probably about August time, but even perhaps a little bit earlier. How does God want us to bring Christmas to the people that we work with? And it is absolutely amazing how he answers that just one single question, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's we've involved other groups as well in what we've presented to people. But at the care home each year even during COVID, we've given all the residents a little gift with the name of the church on, but also a little Bible verse to go with it.
And it's the Bible verse that as we pray, God sends us the Bible verse as well. And the gift, he even sends that as well. We saw something on the internet the other day, thought, oh, we can make use of that. So we actually bought it and looked at it. We've got to get another couple of packets of these little gifts. But it's always based around prayer. We certainly make sure that God is a part of any decision that we make, big or small. And I'm sure everybody else does the same. But it's just, I think it's just helpful for people to hear other people, actually saying, yeah, we pray about that. What do you want us to do? And last year, we were, well, I suppose it was April time, and we started thinking about Christmas. What do you want us to do, Lord? And we went and visited a friend in Northampton who does beadwork, and we just saw her doing some hangers, and we thought, thank you, Lord. So she provided us with 100 beaded hangers. It was a star, wasn't was it?
It was a star
Yeah.
in a circle, which could be hung either on the a window latch or on a door, and that. And I think one of the most amazing things is that when we've gone, particularly to the care homes, and given these out, many years later, we've actually seen these items that we've given still on the window ledges. So they've they've had a lasting impact, that they felt they wanted to keep them.
But we do believe that prayer is it's the beginning, before you actually move into anything else.
Yeah.
And we have as I say, we have a team that we can call up and say, can you pray about this? Can you pray about that? And this prayer team is invaluable, and we keep on telling them that they are our prayer support. Yeah. And I think if everybody had the team that we had, and you can't borrow our team, we've got them. If everybody had a team like ours, God will really provide the answers to all your big and small questions. Yeah.
And what I think is very important is it doesn't matter if you make mistakes. You just feel that confidence around you, and you know that people are supporting you in the ministry. So it's very important that you let people know and follow it up afterwards with your prayer team to say, this is how it was, and we felt really blessed during the time. I mean, it was just a wonderful time this morning, and it was very much appreciated. But we knew that there were at least 4 people praying for us before who had replied to our email. So
that's not saying the others haven't prayed.
No.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much for those reminders about, beginning now to pray into, Lord, what will you have us do for our older people this Christmas? And if you haven't already got prayer warriors in the background lined up to be praying for individual events as and when they meet, then do get them. Was it, I might get this wrong, and you will probably all know better than me, but was it Spurgeon who had the boiler room of prayer underneath where he was preaching, so that while he preached, these prayers were being lifted up to God to bring power to his word? And what you guys experienced this morning through that applause and that engagement, that's what it is, isn't it? It's not applause for Tim and Jean, you're great. It's it was showing that they were engaged and that they'd loved what had just happened. It is that is God's power in that.
It's so Alex, it's so exciting to see how God works in small and big ways. It's absolutely amazing, and we just thank and praise him. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your encouraging story of this morning, but also of these important reminders. So, have a think about, who who could you line up to be your prayer team behind you? And Tim and Jean, you've helpfully reminded us to, of course, go back to people and say how it went. Even, sometimes that can be disheartening because there's not always a great testimony to share, but just to show your appreciation for those prayers. And we know that there are things going on in the heavenlies that we know nothing about. God promises that he hears us and he does answer prayer, even if we cannot see it, and share the testimony to go with it. So,
and Alex, it was Spurgeon.
It was. Oh, good.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be misquoting. And I'm never good with the details. I'm very broad, but that's brilliant. Thank you both ever so much for that. So I don't know if anybody else has any ideas that they would like to share. We're very happy to invite you to unmute yourself and to share any ideas that you've used or that you're considering at the moment. If you feel that you'd like to, then perhaps you could pop that in the chat, and Rachel will look out for it. If you kind of just give some indication in the chat that you're happy to. But otherwise, there's a couple of things that I thought would be just helpful, just to share. We've already had a question about this friendship book that was mentioned, and of course, there are lots of great resources similar to that could be shared in goodie bags or as gifts at Christmas time. And so, if you have a look at some of the websites like Eden, CPO. And oh gosh, what's the other one that I was thinking of the other day? Well, J. John, actually, I don't know if anybody else gets the J. John newsletter, but I've just had it, and they've reduced nearly all of their books, including a very helpful, I think it's a 40-day devotional, but it's something that you can read again and again. But that's a lovely little gift. It's a little hardback gift that's been reduced. And they've also got something, especially for Christmas, called the Christmas Connection, which they're now selling off at 50p. And they've even got a Christmas Connection pack, which I think is more of an evangelistic thing, that they've also managed to reduce. So lots of different books and tracts and things like that available. And we'll be sharing more about some of those that we find along the way when we begin to prepare for our Love My Neighbour campaign, which I'll share more about at another time. Hope Together will be releasing a Christmas gift edition of the Gospel of Luke. If you're connected with their work in any way, you'll know that they've been sharing the gospel throughout the country with thousands of people, and they are preparing this special Christmas edition that will be coming out soon. So we'll share a link to their website in our follow-up email tomorrow so that you can have a look at that when that's released. The London Institute for Contemporary Christianity, they've got something in Advent, which is their daily devotion called Small Wonder. And that comes like with a video, some downloads, you can get a daily email. Now, whether that is simply to encourage you and your team, or whether that's something that you want to help others know about, is really accessible, free stuff. So again, we'll let you know more about that. And usually the Church of England create something. Last year they had Follow the Star, which was a great little booklet to share. And I gather that they are creating something different for this year. So some of these organisations aren't yet ready for the printed thing for me to flash around in front of you. Sadly, we're a little bit ahead of the game in that sense. But it will be coming out soon, and we'll just pop some reminders in our newsletters and things as and when they come along. Rachel, would you like to let me know who would like to share anything, or if anybody would like to share anything, or if there's a question that you'd like to read out on their behalf?
Jess in Sheffield has something that she's happy to share.
Yeah, please do spotlight Jess.
Hello, can you hear me all right?
We can hear you. We can't see you yet.
Okay.
There you are. Hi, Jess. Nice to see you.
Hi, I'm full of cold, but you can't catch it, so that's good.
You're in your jumper.
Thank you. Yeah, I know, it's snuggly. Just a couple of things. We have our usual weekly events that run up to usually the first week of December, where we finish with our Christmas lunch and we give out a Christmas gift bag. And we found the Sagas book really helpful. We wrapped that and gave that as a gift in the last year's goodie bag. We've been struggling for a useful kind of Christmas leaflet or book, because a lot of the print is quite small. So if anyone's aware of stuff that has large print, it'd be lovely to share that on some of the resources. That would be great. And then the 2 weeks there, we usually have 2 weeks then before Christmas week, which feel quite empty. So I've tried to carry on meeting on a Friday. So it's a separate thing. The first Friday we do a relaxed Christmas service, which was, before I came, a dementia friendly service, but I've tried to take all the labels away. So we actually get most of the people that come to our weekly group that then come to that. We stay seated around like little coffee tables, so it's quite easy for people that can't kind of stand up, sit down for the Christmas songs. And we keep it under an hour, and we have 8 kind of traditional Christmas songs that kind of tell the Christmas story, with Bible readings between. We have a very simple nativity backdrop, and there's absolutely no practice for this at all, but a few of us are reading out the Bible passages. We might put on like just a little prop to be an angel or a king or something visual, just to kind of keep attention through the stories. And one of our young people can sometimes comes and helps us with that. Then we have another chap in the church who's very good at poetry, so he often writes kind of a poem based on Christmas and the Bible, and so he'll read that. That's been very powerful towards the end, just kind of to help people think through the real message of Christmas. And then we'll sit and have refreshments afterwards, and that's been really great. So those that are mostly housebound will make a real effort to come out to that service, and those that really struggle with kind of normal kind of service setup come. And it's not just for older people, but that's the majority that come to that. And then the week after that, we do something in the afternoon, just for people that can't get out so easily in the mornings. And we just do a Christmas film. And we played last year. I love it. We've always watched it at Christmas in our home. But A Child's Christmas in Wales, which is just under an hour long. It's incredible. It's quite old, but kind of a granddad talking to his son about what Christmas used to be like when he was a boy. And it's just very accessible. It's based on some writing by Dylan Thomas, who's a Welsh poet, and it's just beautifully done. So that went down really well last year. And then again, we just stayed on for refreshments afterwards. Just an opportunity for people to gather, like people have said. That's the most important thing, I think, as well as inviting to the general church events. But those are the 2 specific things that we put on for people.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jess. It's such a lovely idea to share a film. Sometimes we can get people who'll serve the tea and coffee, but we can't always get people who will kind of lead things from the front. And actually showing a film is a very straightforward way to take some of that pressure off the team as well. And somebody's just very helpfully reminded us all in the chat about the Our Daily Bread ministries resources. They do a Christmas resource, and they do most of their stuff is available in large print, so it'll be worth keeping an eye on that as the season goes on. It's called Our Daily Bread Ministries. Thank you for whoever put that in the chat. I think we had a hand up from someone called Helen Wright. Have I remembered that rightly?
Yes.
Rachel, I don't know if
Hello.
you're able.
Hello.
Oh,
Yeah.
hello.
Hello.
Rachel, are you able to spotlight? There you are.
I was just putting something in the chat. Hello.
Hello. Thank you, Helen, for coming on.
We're a city centre church absolutely in the middle of Glasgow. So we don't have residential, we haven't got care homes and so on. I just wanted to say that for the last 2 years, and we're doing it again this year, we actually focus on people who are homeless and in hostels, but Card Factory will subsidise gift bags for you.
Brilliant.
If that's part of I've used my local Card Factory, and they've been absolutely thrilled to be part of and to know what's going on. And then we invite members of the church to fill them with 3 objects: something warm for a homeless or a hostel person to wear, something for them to be using in their bathroom, toiletries, and something festive to eat, chocolates and whatever. And that's been our way of getting our congregation involved. But I just wanted to say that Card Factory are really open to subsidising gift bags. Okay.
Thank you so much, Helen. What a great tip. And that's just, as Sally said, like, it's worth just, going in with a cheeky,
Yeah.
friendly ask, and people love helping.
Indeed.
And I think someone was telling me that many of these stores actually have a bit of a charitable or community budget from
Indeed.
which they can give these kinds of reductions or gifts. So thank you, Helen, for reminding us about that, and specifically about Card Factory, because there'd be lots of things in there that might be helpful: ribbons, gift wrap, all sorts.
What they actually do, they always do a 3 for the price of 2, and once they've worked that out over, we are to 60 bags, then they'll give us a 20% reduction or more. There we are. Okay.
Yeah, really good. Thank you so much, Helen. Rachel, is there anybody else? We've probably got time for one more. If anybody else, you've spotted anyone else who'd like to share.
Maria had something to share about White Christmas, the service for those who are bereaved.
Yes, that's a really good idea. Let's hear from Maria. Oh, hello, Maria. You're still muted at the moment. If you unmute yourself.
Is that better?
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. Tell us more about White Christmas.
Yeah, so we, like many of you, we do all through the year, we do a seniors lunch every week. And I also run a group for widows, which is called the Anna group, taken from Anna, the prophetess who was a widow. So because of those things, we've got quite a lot of inroads into the community anyway. But what we started to do probably about 10 years ago now was have a Christmas service, normally a couple of Sundays before Christmas, wherever that lands. And we call it White Christmas, and it's specifically aimed at people who are bereaved and could potentially find Christmas, really, really sad, really difficult to get through. And we found that has had massive impact. People have really appreciated that. It's quite, it's a quiet one, it's not all kind of jolly and happy clappy. It's very sensitively led. And one of the things that people really seem to appreciate, and I have to say, when I first heard they were going to do this, I was a bit cringe, but actually it's worked really well. We gave out little baubles, which you can buy from Amazon. They're really inexpensive, and they're just plain. And we gave everybody a pen, and they wrote the name of their loved one on the bauble, and then went to hang it up on a tree up on the platform. And people just found that kind of symbolic act of remembering their loved one at Christmas in that way really, really powerful. So we couldn't do that every year. So another year we got little wooden stars and did the same kind of thing. And I think last year we had little candles, little electric candles, and they put them on the tree, and then you can remotely turn them all on. Which was really,
wow.
Yeah, it was just nice.
Yeah.
And then we just do very simple cup of tea and a piece of cake, nothing that fancy. And people chat. Now, obviously, it's open to anyone who's bereaved, so we do have younger people there as well that have lost grandparents and stuff. Or even actually, we've had parents who have lost children. But in the main, it would be more senior people by virtue of the nature of it. But that has been a really lovely service, and people really, really appreciated it.
Thank you, Maria. That is so helpful just to be reminded about the importance of caring for those who are bereaved at Christmas time. And thank you so much. It's so important. Christmas can be a time where people of all ages reflect more deeply on their losses and feel their losses much more, and remembering days gone by. And so to inject that time with an opportunity to reflect and mourn and pray in a sort of robust kind of way, and to have a nice time together is really helpful. So thank you so much for that reminder, Maria. Oh, hi, Sarah. Lovely to see you. You need to unmute yourself. Perfect. Thank you. Sarah, share with us a little bit about who you are, whereabouts in the country you are, just a little snapshot of your broad all year round seniors ministry, and then would you zoom in and share more about what things you do at Christmas?
Yeah, thanks, Alex. I'm responsible for the seniors work at Enfield Town Community Church up in North London. We have a group of about 70 or 80 seniors who meet each Monday for Monday Meet. We meet for tea, coffee, biscuits, a short Bible talk, which is the most important part of the afternoon, and then some sort of activity, whether it's a quiz or an outside speaker. This week we had someone telling us about grace advocacy that also runs from our church, giving advice about available benefits and other sort of legal issues to people coming in from the community. Yeah, very friendly afternoons. About a third of the people who come don't know the Lord Jesus personally yet. Another third do know him, and the others, they go to church but they're not really sure. So there's lots of evangelistic opportunities as well as opportunities to encourage the Christians. Once a month we have a meal, soup and sweet, for £2, which precedes the meeting. And in the past year or so we've been joined by a group from a local care home, which has been interesting. Challenges with dial-a-ride, turning up late and picking them up early and all sorts of things. I have a fantastic team member who works as a very good bouncer on the door to try and control dial-a-ride. But again, great that these folk come along. Some have quite marked dementia, but we've started singing an old hymn prior to the Bible talk, and noticeably people have quietened down and been able to focus as a result. Thinking ahead to Christmas, have you noticed that it's increasingly difficult to get real Christmas cards with the Christmas message on them in local shops? Up here in North London, our local Christian bookshops have closed in recent years. So there's very good cards available online, but a lot of our seniors just don't do online shopping. You can get catalogues with them in, but if you get a catalogue and there's a very nice picture in the catalogue and it says to you, well, it's 10 by 15 centimetres, what does that mean to you? People like to have a real card, be able to pick it up, handle it and decide if that's something they'd like to buy themselves. So something that we've been doing in recent years that has been really popular is having a sample of cards from a charity called Gospel Cards. I have sent all the contact details to Rachel, so they should be in the email tomorrow. But Gospel Cards are happy to send a pack of sample cards, minus envelopes, which I usually have on display during October at our group. So this is the pack which I've recently received. There's 10 different cards, all sorts of different designs. I won't show you all of them, but there's big ones and then there's smaller ones. And my favourite is the robin. But each of those cards also has a Bible verse in it and a reminder of what Christmas is all about. Folk are able to pick them up, handle them, decide what they want, and then place orders with our team. And I put all the orders together, which usually means we qualify then for quite a decent discount. And the money which the charity raises goes to support a lot of smaller Christian charities. There's a phone number if you want a pack. I've contacted the Gospel Cards and they're happy to send out sample packs to you. And again, that number will be in the email tomorrow. What I also do when I'm requesting the cards is I ask for a copy of their catalogue. Actually, I asked for quite a lot of copies of the catalogue because having had a chance to look at the Christmas cards, people often say, well, I wish I could have birthday cards or other various things. They're in the catalogue. I don't get samples of those, but people often like to order those at the same time. I've designed a sample order form for Christmas cards only, just to keep it simple. And again, I think a copy of that's going to be on the website. And then people complete that, and they haven't got to fiddle around with the tiny writing of the catalogues themselves. But if they want other things, they can order that and give me the order, and I put the whole lot in together. And then the other great thing about having real Christmas cards is I go round to folk who are confined to their homes. They can't get out to our group. They certainly can't get out to a shop to buy cards. And they enjoy being, again, able to have a look and handle them for themselves. So one idea that we do in the run up to Christmas, and then something else that we do is, who likes a Christmas present that's written personally to them? You know, it's your own present. It's not just a freebie. Well, I certainly do. And so we aim to give a personalised Christmas gift to each senior who attends our group, and also to others that I'm in touch with in various ways. So the key is it's got to be personalised. So this one here is to Anne. You've got her name up here, and I just put Love from Monday Meets, the name of the group. Some of them have love from somebody else on them as well, but most of them have Love from Monday Meets. It's a nice size, it's interesting, and when you open the parcel, which I will do, inside is a calendar. Now you're going to have to use your imagination. I haven't got the 2026 calendars. So you've got to, where it says 2025, pretend it says 2026. But these living word calendars are brilliant. They are a decent size. Each page has got a different clear, big print Bible verse on it. Something that size, one copy costs 75p. If you buy in bulk, I've ordered 180 and I'm getting them for 45p each. So it's very, very reasonable. The postage is far more than the gift itself. One advantage of everybody having that calendar is that we're all looking at the same Bible verse the same day. So, for example, good and upright is the Lord, and that is the one that we have for September. And that leads to all sorts of interesting conversations with people during the year as well. What was the Bible verse? Have you turned the page over yet? Oh yeah, it's a lovely pink picture with flowers, isn't it? And what did you think about what the Bible verse said? And we're all on the same page. And the other thing that I like to do for those who don't know the Lord Jesus yet is, in with the present, also put a gospel, as Luke's gospel. So they've actually got some of God's word going in as well. This is quite small print. Torch Trusts also produce large print gospels, although I should warn you, if you get those, they are rather like small telephone directories. They are really large print. But again, there's a few people who benefit from that. So just a couple of ideas that we do in the build up to Christmas.
That's really good. Thank you, Sarah. That's so helpful. And normally I only see those calendars like in too small. So to be shown a proper big one that you can actually read, and that you know your guests can properly read. And as you say, what a lovely idea that every month when you meet, you're on the same page, as it were, literally with that Bible verse, and you can then reinforce perhaps as appropriate some of the messages on there. So thank you. And
Isabel and Martin, I don't know if you're happy to unmute and share what you've written.
Yes, we are. Thank you. We take our seniors to the local garden centre because they put on a Christmas lunch right throughout December. So we go early in December, and so they pay for it themselves, but we just gather all the orders together and give a pre-order to the garden centre. So they enjoy a time of Christmas shopping. We organise lifts to get everybody there, but the garden centre also allow us to put a speaker in. So they put us in the back corner of the restaurant part, and we can take a small PA system and we get somebody to give a short talk for us. So we've done that for 10, 15 years, I think. Yeah.
Wow. That's such a good idea, because you're not cooking the dinner.
Yeah.
You know, you're not doing the washing up.
Yeah.
And yet you're having this lovely time together. How many of you go? How many people go? And how do you get them there and back and that kind of thing? Tell me more.
We take about 40 people.
Right.
We know who can drive and who will give lifts, so we just kind of work it out. But it does work well, because, as you say, we don't have our own premises to cook a meal ourselves. But why would we want to anyway, when we could go and do it at the garden centre and let them have the work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Martin's trying to get in there. Where is he? Why can't we see him?
I'm here.
Hello.
It's good, you know, they do these the special Christmas menu, so it's quite reasonably priced. You know, usually lunch, Christmas pudding, and tea or coffee afterwards. So everybody enjoys it.
That's such a good idea, and I hope that you know, I think that'll be real encouragement to some people who might not have thought about doing it that way round. I mean, 40 people, that's not a small group, is it? That's a large group. That's not taking 4 people in the back of your own car. And it's brilliant that the garden centre will do that.
But I think as well, that's where the intergenerational thing comes in, because if we were stuck for lifts, we'd go to some of the younger people. Well, we ask our youth worker to come. So she comes, and also we do the fetching and the carrying. We take a team of younger people with us so that we can serve the older people, because the garden centre, it's like a self-service thing. It's a carvery, isn't it? So we go up to the carvery and get the meals and take them. So as I say, we do this intergenerational thing and include some of the younger ones, including our youth worker.
Brilliant. And of course, then presumably, even though you're kind of in a bit of a back corner, the garden centre must know that you're from a church, that you know you've got Christians among you. Perhaps they might even overhear what the speaker says.
Of course,
And they must be really charmed to see what good care you're taking of people and doing this.
Yeah, but also as well, the other thing about that is that these seniors don't get out. You know, they can't drive themselves. Some of them can't drive themselves there, so they love having a Christmas dinner, because you know, they're having a nice meal cooked for them, but also they get to do some Christmas shopping and enjoy the Christmas festivities.
Yeah, and garden centres are brilliant. Even if you don't want to buy anything, they're just good for a good hoof around and a look around, aren't they?
Yeah,
it's always really nice. Oh, thank you both so much for unexpectedly coming on and sharing that. That's a real blessing, and what a good creative solution. To, as you say, not having premises and not having to do the washing up. Brilliant. Thank you both. Nice to see you both. Have you got an idea to share?
Well, only that this year at Chatterbox at Nailsea Baptist Church, we're going to do a Christmas meal. We're going to do a Christmas day. So we're going to pretend it's Christmas Day and invite our Chatterboxers who come, and they'll spend the day with us, as it were. It's not the whole day, it's 11 till 3. But it will include some games, some fun things, maybe a little skit, and then a reflection at the end and some carols to round it off. But the reason we do this is because we've been using Holiday at Home for the past 3 years, and we thought this was an idea we could do at Christmas, but just do one day rather than the 3 days that we usually do. So we had our first planning meeting last week, and we've got plenty of helpers, which is really good. And we're just praying that God will speak to these folk as they come to a Christmas day, because they're very lonely, most of them. And this will be an opportunity to have a real Christmas together. So when they come in, they'll have a little stocking on their chair to make it seem like, you know, it's Christmas morning. Open that, and then a present to take home as well. So there's lots to tell you, but that's probably the main thing, is it? Yeah.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing that. What a lovely idea. And yes, I think a couple of bits of feedback I've heard from the holidays at home that have gone on this summer is people saying, can we do this more often? Or can we do this in the winter time? And yeah, so your idea is inspired. It's a really lovely idea to bless people in that way. And as you say, to have an extended time together. How lovely. I wonder for some of them, how long it's been since they last opened a Christmas stocking.
Yes, I wonder.
That's very precious, isn't it? I mean, there are people my age who've not opened one for a long time. So,
Right.
yeah, that's lovely. Thank you both so much. And yeah, we pray God's blessing on that ministry for you. Thank you for sharing that. Well, thank you, everyone. It's been really interesting to hear from some of the friends who've joined us on the screen. But also, is there anything else in the chat, Rachel, that we should read out before we start to bring things to a close?
There are a couple of resources from Joanna Cox that she suggested, in particular Adventuring, which is 4 reflections looking back at biblical figures who took up the adventure responding to the work of God in their lives. I think I've got this right. This is more aimed at people who go to church and more for use during Advent.
That sounds good.
And also Pilgrim's Friends.
Oh, who have we got now? Oh, hello, Joanna.
Yes. You know, Pilgrim Friends do a thing called Soul Boosting for Seniors. And they've usually, I've not checked this year, but they've usually made their Christmas resource of Soul Boosting for Seniors available free. So it would be worth checking that.
Thank you, Joanna. That's really helpful. So yes, one of our partner charities is Pilgrim's Friends Society. They've got a website packed with some great ideas and resources, including these soul boosting resources to use among older people. So yeah, we commend the site to you. And brilliant. Well, thank you to everyone who's contributed both in the chat and on the screen. I hope that there's some of you have been writing some good scribbles down and that has given you some ideas. For some of you, it'll be a case of you've heard nothing new. You've done most of this stuff before, and that's brilliant. I pray that you will take that as God's encouragement, that you are well and truly on the right track. I know for others, sometimes it can feel that some of these big churches with these vast teams, what do they know about me and my, church of 15 people and just me trying to bless them this Christmas? Well, we know about that and we do understand that, but we pray that really out of everything that's been said, there's something that can be transferred, whether it is a little gift, a little card, whether it's inviting them round to your home for mince pies and a blessing. We're really hopeful that even some of these kind of big things can easily be cut down to size to what's appropriate for your context. So I hope that you will all be super encouraged by what's been shared today. I've got a few little notices to share in just a moment, but before that, I just thought I would just take a moment. It's actually the National Week of Prayer, so it's never, it's always a good time to pray, obviously, but I'd love to pray for you all that, for God's blessing on your plans. So let me pray, and then I'll share a few little notices for the season ahead. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you that you made your dwelling among us and showed us your glory. I pray, Lord, that you would help us to develop plans for the season ahead, to share Jesus with our older friends, both in our churches, in our families, in our neighbourhoods, and in our communities. I pray, Lord, that you would bring to those plans the resources we need, Lord, whether it is helpers, whether it's money, whether it's ideas, whether it's how to print something, and all of these practicalities which can sometimes feel like barriers to us. I pray, Lord, that you would clear the path for us to be a great blessing to older people this Christmas. And I pray, Lord, that as we do this, Lord, that you would be glorified and that people would be helped to know you for the first time or more deeply if they already know you. I pray, Lord, that each person on this call and the teams that they are among would be blessed by all that you will do through them this Christmas. In Jesus' name, amen.